Hello and good morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm shooting something out of the blue. It's not related to ship machinery. It's related indirectly. The DeLonghi Magnifica S. This is a cappuccino machine, espresso machine that roasts fresh coffee beans and gives you that crisp and rich aroma for that coffee that you actually deserve. And trust me, once you do the coffee with the beans from this machine, you won't go back to the simple stirring coffee. We had an issue. One of our machines, one is totally a dead body. The other one, I think I can revive it. Let's see how we dismantle the machine. We do a few basic checks, clearing any debris, checking for leaks, checking the tubes internally, and checking a few O-rings, and finally even the generator. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so let's go through the tools. I got a plier, whether I'm going to use my Leatherman, a small set of screwdrivers, Allen key set, the torque wrench, a Phillips screwdriver, my drill driver. I just got an endoscopic camera because I just love it. This one to just collect all the bolts, a torch, of course my mobile phone to take a few pictures, and don't forget the vacuum cleaner. You will need the vacuum cleaner. A little brush to clean off all the coffee powder or dust or whatever. Use the brush, the vacuum cleaner, and just suck out all the dust. A little chair out there for me and the machine. So this is the one. So when we start up the machine, I'm not going to start it for you now. When you start up the machine, the issue that I'm facing is I'm having water dripping from this container. Nothing coming through here. Even in the flushing cycle, I just have water dripping here and the tray gets full. So there could be a couple of issues. I've seen a few YouTube videos online. I'll share those links there so that I give sufficient credit to them. I've learned opening the machine from these guys and they definitely deserve the credit. So time to open it up. So before we dismantle the machine, the first few things what we need to do is we need to clear off all the beans. Otherwise when I take the lid off, everything fall off. I need to take off the tray, take off the bottom tray, just keep them safely out here so that I don't kick it off. Keep the lid off, and I need to empty the beans. Sometimes the beans just come off. If they don't, you will have to dismantle this part. This grill at the top, just carefully keep it aside, and then we can take off the beans safely. And whatever little that's left behind, just suck it out. When you're taking off the machines, the first thing, of course, you will take off the power. The back can be like this or the back can be like this, but ultimately remember to disconnect the power plug and just wait for a bit, because the machine, if you have used the machine recently or tried it out recently, it will be hot inside. Wait for at least 10 to 15 minutes before the machine internally cools down. So let's start off by taking off the back cover. The back cover has 5 screws in this case, 1 2 3 4 5, and this machine would have also 1 2 3 4 and 5. So either they would be a Phillips screwdriver or they would be this kind of a torque wrench. So let's take them all out. One. Yeah, this is specifically why I need this screwdriver. That's the last screw. Just pull it out a bit, and here. So that's the back panel. Keep it aside. So now for the side panel, taking off the side panel just slides off, remember. Yeah, slides off with the locks. Be careful of the locks here. The locks here. Are we recording? Oh yes, we are. Side panel out. We'll take out even this side panel the same way. So let's take off this side panel before taking off any other panel. So slide it backward slowly. Pull off the bottom and the top. So the left side panel is out for you. Now let's take off the top. We have 1 screw on this side, 1 screw on the other side, and 2 screws at the back. Screw on this side. Now let's take off the top panel for us. Very careful, gentle. We'll pull off the steam knob. So this is the steam knob. Pull off the top panel very carefully. You will have this front cover also coming on, the one that gives you the indicators. When you turn it back to the front, we will need to dismantle this panel as well. So for this front panel, you have 1 screw on this side and 2 screws on this side. Yeah. Low part should just sometimes it's a bit tight. Just pull it out from the bottom, and the lower part is out. Once the lower part is out, we need to take off even this part. This is because we are doing a further dismantling because I need to check the coffee generator as well. So just be very careful to take this off. We will just loosen the top ones. One. Oops, do not drop the screws. 2. Carefully pull out. Remember, this cable is very sensitive, so don't just let it hang around there. You keep it safely. Take off this internal part. So we just swing this out a bit, and we can take this out here. This is your final coffee dispenser, the nozzle. You just carefully pull out the pipe, and you can keep this at the side. This can be just here for a bit. It's not too heavy. See how the flow goes from the water pot. This is your pump that takes the suction, delivers it to the here is the resistance and a heater inside. So that's how it delivers. This is a relief valve. So if the resistance is clogged or choked because of scale, this valve will shoot out the valve into the drain and here. So there's one thing what you need to check: if this drain valve, if this relief valve is leaking. So when you can power up the machine and just see if there is water coming from here. If there's water coming from here, then there's the first issue of water leaking could be this valve. So you need to order a new component, or you need to see what can be done. If you have an older coffee machine like mine, just swap the valves. And now to take off these pipes, you will need something like this. A pretty small tool and a plier. So you carefully release these locks, spring locks. Yes, you can pull out this hose and pull out this pipe. So remember, there may be a bit of water dripping through because there will be water in your resistance. There's a seal here, there's a seal there. You put this in. This is to lock the coupling, the water coupling, the water pipes in place. Now if you need to dismantle even this one, it's the same procedure. Light tug outward and then pull it with the plier. You can even take off this pipe. You need to just wedge it up a bit. Yep, it's out. There will be a little water dripping there. To take off this resistance part, to check it out, you need to take off the top part as well, so it gives you an easier access. We need to take this guy off. You can just take it off. One. This one has a washer, be careful. So this comes off carefully here, and you can take off this hose clip as well. So once the hose clip is out, you pull off this plastic hose and you release this, and you can keep it down or you can keep it. Okay, so now it's time to dismantle the generator. I've just taken off the clips, one from this hose and one from this hose right here. Let's take it off carefully, pull off this hose. We will need to dismantle this hose, and the third one from here. So these we will need to take off these hoses before we can take off the generator. You pull off these electrical connections, these lugs right here. These small Allens is what we need to take off. This is because we are inspecting the whole generator. I wanted to see what was the issue, and because I still had water leaking even after checking all the connections. So I believe there's something wrong in this valve head that's right here. Rotate and pull off slowly. This one will need a little bit of wedging because of the O-rings. Okay, and this head right here, this was broken, and yeah, I'll show you in the next picture. You can see this one was broken, and I took it off from this one, from this coffee machine of mine, and put the whole generator set here. So let's take off the generator. 2 hex screws right here, and this locking plate, and 2 screws at this side, 1 and 2. This hose that we took off the clip, be careful, there may be an o-ring that might fall since it's vertically down. All right, so the o-ring is right here on the pipe, and this hose. Okay, disconnected the hose, disconnected the o-ring. Just keep the hose down so it doesn't come in your path, and now you can carefully pull out. So this is the coffee generator. So you know, many times even it leaks inside. This o-ring is what can leak or give way. You can have the o-ring damage, so replace the o-ring as well when you have a new one. And be careful when you play around with the generator. This has this valve. If you open it, it can get lost or dislodged, and then you have another problem. So this whole generator unit, I took it off from this one and put it in this coffee machine, and that's how we have this coffee machine that should work by now. So it looks like I seem to have found the problem. I am lucky that I have another coffee machine. So this is like a valve that's here. This valve, let's zoom in. This looks a bit broken, and this is the one that I think, according to my technical skills, that one is causing the leak. So let's put them all back. This is my scavenger machine. The machine that I've scavenged the parts from, and putting them into this. Let's see. Now time to check a few other components. The other thing what we inspect is this grinding component right here. You check this one also, where anything broken around, this just goes right in and clips right in. Remember, when you're putting it back, it won't go like this. You need to push it back down. See, the piston is right here, and push it in. That's it. So this is the back side of the machine. Here's the grinder. Here is the belt that drives the piston up and down. This is the machine. So it's all dismantled and almost ready to put it all together. So this is how we got this machine, the internal components from this machine, we got them here, and let's assemble this guy back again. Let's do it in reverse.